is still becoming what Jazzy and Drew. The podcast where we share real conversations about growth, identity, resilience, and the ongoing journey of becoming who we are meant to be. Today's episode is incredibly special to me because I have decided to end this 5-month series with having my mom and younger sibling join us for this conversation. So in this episode, we're going to have an honest conversation about what it means to be a family with LGBTQ plus identity. I'm queer, and my younger sibling is transgender. So we'll share our experiences from our own perspectives. This isn't about having all the answers. It's about love, growth, listening, and most importantly, becoming. So let's jump in. I thought we would start this conversation by talking about identity. I know for me, figuring it out, I was clear wasn't something that happened overnight. It took time. In fact, it took a few years for me to figure it out. So, Sarah, I'm very interested. What was your coming out journey like for you?
Yes. So my coming out journey was very, very long. I cannot lie. I went through a lot of experimenting, trying new things, and just trying to find myself in where I really felt home and felt where I fit. So, coming out very first, I came out as gay and I felt very clear with that, felt like I was home. Then a couple years later, I started feeling like I was pushed into a box of having to be presenting as a boy, but also wanting to present as a female. So then I came out as non binary and stick with that for a couple months. And then I slowly learned about transgender people. And the more I did research on it and learned and just really found out what it is, the more I started realizing that that is where I want to be and that that was really me and that's who Sayora is. So yeah.
I love that, like, you went through different identities and different transitions. It wasn't just like you went from boy straight to transgender, I think it really, um, helps me understand that, like, it's not just a it's not just an automatic switch for people. So yeah, thank you for sharing
Yes.
that. And then so once you realize, like, okay, you were transgender and you felt like, yeah, this is me, this is who I really identify with. What made you decide that you were ready to tell people? I know the first person you told was mom. So what made you decide, like, okay, I'm ready to take a chance and just let people know, like, hey, this is me.
Yes. So honestly, like I said, I was doing so much research and I was doing research for about a couple months before I really realized, like, okay, this is, like you said, like, this is me. I can tell, like, this is where I really feel home. So, yes, the first person I told was my mom, but I was not scared at all because luckily I am blessed to have, like, a very, very backbone when it comes to with my family. And, having a lesbian sister with kids, it really just showed me that I have nothing to fear when it came to my mom, my siblings, my father, anything. So it was very easy, but also a lot to learn and teach my family because it was such a new thing and such a new term, especially just in the world in general. So it was scary, but also very easy.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're right. Like, we do have a lesbian sister, so wasn't some LGBTQ persons lost away to our family at
Hmm.
all. And, growing up, I'm sure we all know the signs of you. And I kind of knew you were gonna grow up to be like the unique one out of the family. So yeah, I'm glad you felt like, you were gonna have that family support. And yeah, I mean, it's always scary, of course, because you might think, oh, my family is gonna be supportive, and then sometimes they're not, right? So I'm very sad to say, like, yeah, one day, but you also knew, like, oh, I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. Like you said, I think it's still, like, a huge transition for a lot
Hmm.
of us, because that's so used to you being the little baby brother, and now it's like baby sister. That's why I say younger sibling, because yeah, it's just such a transition for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I appreciate you having the patience to teach us like about what is African gender and the proper language and proper pronouns to use. So yeah, that's been very, interesting to learn as your sister. I want to stop and ask mom, like, how have you felt, mom? Because, I can deal with someone who's transgender, someone different than someone who's just lesbian. So what's your perspective? Well,
Well, as far as me and having my journey on this, it did start with your older sister coming out to me at age 16. And at the time, I was open, I was caring, I was supportive. Um, I grew up a lot around LGBTQ in my time. So for me, it was nothing to be afraid of. It was nothing to be angry about. It's not like I went on thinking in my life, "Oh, I hope my kids don't turn out this way," or "I hope my kids don't turn out that way." So because my mind was open to whatever my kids wanna be in life, they can be. I'm always gonna show support, concern, and care to the best of my ability, and I believe I've done that thus far. But with my youngest one coming out, she decided that she wanted to come out at age 11. I remember the first conversation we'd had, I think it was 10 or 11,
Hmm.
and she spoke to me, and the first thing I said to her was, "It's okay. There's nothing to worry about. I'm here for you. We can revisit this conversation maybe in another year." So by the time she was 12, she still felt the same way, and I think from that point on, I just knew that this is my child, these are my children. I love them for who they are, not for what they can be or cannot be. So having that open mind and open heart to it made the journey a little bit easier for me because they're my children. So that love is just nurturing and automatically there. So having them coming out and telling me something they're not or something they are does not change the love that I have for them.
I love that so much, mom. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, that means a lot, and that kind of helps transition into my story a little bit. So I came out as queer um earlier this year, but I knew I was on the LGBTQ plus spectrum for a while. I want to say many years, and I kind of had a feeling Because I remember I had a really big crush on one of my female friends. Um, and that's when I started questioning, like, is this normal? Am I supposed to have a crush on a female? But time went on, the female friend ended up moving away, so nothing really happened.
Mhm.
And that person still wasn't I have a crush on them. But anyway, um, so I think I had, again, I had ideas of I like women and I also like men and I was just confused a lot about my identity and how do I express it? And thankfully, I have a lot of friends all over the world, and many of them are in the LGBTQ plus community. And so I remember having a conversation with a friend that I really trust, and she's the one that helped me confirm that I'm queer. And
Mm,
that's why I felt like, okay, this makes sense. I thought about it. I marinated on it for a while, and then I finally came out little by little to like one person at a time. And then I was kind of hesitant to tell my mom, but kind of not, like you said, stay. So
Mhm.
like, because I already have two siblings that are in the community, LGBT plus community. I was like, this is not gonna be anything to do. So my mom is just like, okay, well, I have another kid who's like LGBT plus. So, when I told mom, she was very supportive, very much like, really, okay. And you said it how? And I told her how I figured it out. She said, well, I'm telling you for finally, figuring yourself out. And as you know, I always support you. I support your sister and your younger sibling. So I love you just the same. And I'm happy if you're happy, basically. So, I feel like living with my younger sibling gave me the confidence to come out and not be scared, like, what people are gonna think, because they're very out there and bold. And I'm like, okay, I need to be like Sayyora. Um, and I think the first person I told was my younger sibling because we lived in the same household.
nice.
So I had to tell her. And then I told my older sister. And then mom was the last person in the family. So sorry now. Um, but yeah, I just felt really accepted. It's very normalized. I feel like in my family. Because
Mhm.
again, we all grew up with this, so it's not anything unusual for us at this
Yeah.
point. So yeah.
Yes.
Do you have any comments? And then eventually he loves you and he was like, I knew he was. It was only a matter of time before you admitted it.
Yes, I just wanted to say that when I was like a teenager, I had many friends who came out to their parents and they really struggled and it just so nice to see that your family has, I mean, you have your own journeys, like you, you know, and your siblings are just
do you want to allow those guys?
Yes, I believe you. So he said when he was a teenager, he had many friends who came out to their parents and stuff, and they always really struggle with finding acceptance. So he said it's really nice to see that me and Faye have our own journeys, but the fact that we have family and siblings that support and accept us is just really nice to see.
Right.
Mhm.
Yes.
I agree.
Mhm.
It definitely makes the journey easier, I believe, when our
Yes.
children know that they have that family support. I think that's the more important support than any outside support. It's like, yeah, we have friends
Mhm.
that support us, we have friends that accept us, but until it's actually from your family members who are close to you, who say they love you, and you know, and then you do unfortunately have some of those children that don't have that immediate family support and have no choice but to turn to the friends out there in the street, and that becomes their family support. They're supporting each other. So the good thing about the LGBTQ is that I'm noticing they are fighters beyond measures because where they
Mhm.
don't
Yeah.
get support at home, they are definitely going to support each other out there in this journey called life. You
Yeah.
know? So
Absolutely. Yeah.
again, you are blessed to have that with me and with your father.
Yes.
Yep.
Both your fathers, even the fathers accepted it. So that can be a challenging time for a lot of them, but I'm just thankful that we all support each other. That's the background that we carry with each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you show the kind of love and families support they have for one another?
Yes. He said really shows the kind of love family is supposed to have for one another.
Mhm.
It really
Very
does.
true.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and I just want to quickly add, so I got to experience my first Pride Fest last weekend, and you know, we were not talking about the suburbs. And I experienced it with my mom and my younger sibling, and it was the most amazing experience I ever had going to a Pride event. I felt so like I felt like I belonged. You know, nobody was looking at me weird or like I didn't belong. Like everybody was just so nice and welcoming and like
Mhm.
mom was just talking about the LGBTQ people, community having each other back. It was really evident at that event.
Yes.
Um, Even people that didn't know each other were just so welcoming, so inviting, willing
Mhm.
to talk to us, willing to say hi, and have small talk.
Yeah.
Um, so that experience was very empowering for me, because I have more than one identity. Being queer is one part of my identity, and being disabled is another part of my
Mhm.
identity. So
Yeah.
yeah, um, I really love this and I'm part of it, and I hope to go again next year. 'Cause it was truly amazing.
Yeah, it was.
I just want to say before we move on, I've been teasing you around the book always.
You have, you are never gonna let me live this something down.
I'm very glad you had such a good theory about the Friday, but
I did. the cycle was technically something and a broken phone. It was effective. Ah.
She didn't tell me about the monkey stuff.
Okay, I'll tell you later. Ah.
Okay.
Ah. Ah. So yes, something I would like to talk about is misconceptions. People hear the word queer or transgender and they automatically make a ton of assumptions. So, Sarah, what's something you wish people understood about being transgender?
Ooh, okay. Something I wish people understood is I feel like there is a huge, huge, huge misconception about us, about the fact that we are trying to replace cis women in a way or trying to be better or anything. I feel like that is a huge misconception. I can definitely speak for myself. I know at the end of the day that, you know, to get real and honest, I don't have a uterus. I can't carry a baby. And at the end of the day, there's no way that I'm going to be able to replace a woman. But I think the misconception is that we don't try to replace, we try to fit in a way. We try to we look up at women and we just say, wow, like, I just wish I can go out like that with, long, beautiful hair and nails and dresses and things like that that make us feel comfortable in ourselves. And so I think that's the huge misconception that we try to be better or replace. We don't try to do anything like that. We just look up to them a lot.
I love
I
that.
love that. I love that answer. That's awesome.
Yeah, me too. That's
Mhm.
a very powerful response to that misconception. I had a conversation, me and you had a conversation with um a friend who's also transgender, and they were also on this podcast, and they share a lot of the same things, and they also share that decided to be transgender is basically about feeling comfortable in your own skin
Yeah.
and being able to be authentic, right?
Hmm.
And
Yes.
like you said, yes, the hormone replacement therapies and stuff, and that's great, but like you said, this is one way you can't replace certain body parts, right?
Hmm.
Like there's no way to do that.
Yeah.
Unless you're gonna have crazy surgery, and even then, you know, that can only do for so much.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that a lot. That response is like, I'm not denying that, okay, this is what I was born as, but this is not who I feel I am, and I should be
Hmm.
allowed to make myself feel as comfortable and authentic as humanly possible. And that has to be judged or criticized or, like you said, oh, you could probably be better than or
Yes.
whatever, So yeah, I really appreciate that.
Yes.
Do you have any comments for that round before I share?
No, I actually agree with everything that she said. As far as her just wanting to she looks up to the women, and it's nothing about trying to fit in because none of us are meant to fit in. We are all meant to stand out in our own
Uh-huh.
uniqueness. But
Hmm.
it's just showing the women that, I look up to you. And a lot of women can identify with that more than men can. I believe a lot of our women in society, we can identify with that and understand that.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure. So for me, I'm new to this LGBTQ stuff. So for me, a misconception being queer is that I find a lot of people don't understand that being queer means you still like guys. They're like, oh, so you like sides of yourself. I'm like, I'm queer. So I like both genders.
Mhm.
Um, and then I also feel like another misconception is like, well, you don't look queer or whatever. And it's like, well, what is queer supposed to look like? You
Yes.
know?
Yes.
So it's like what's inside, right? Like I like guys and I like women. That's
Mhm.
how I like, okay, I'm clear. I don't have to say and look to
Right.
identify as something, you know?
Mhm.
Exactly. Exactly. I definitely agree with that.
And I also feel like I had this same conversation with another guest on my podcast, how we feel like when it comes to people in the LGBTQ plus community, um, it's very hard for us to find community spaces that's
Mhm.
accessible to
Mhm.
us. So like I know for like person there are some community things but there a lot of it is like undercover because they don't wanna get shut down or,
No.
whatever the case
Mm.
is. So, like, the misconception is that, "Oh, you're queer, so you must have this whole community, LGBTQ people," and it's like, "No, that's something I'm lacking,
Mm.
Mhm.
actually." I'm lucky to have a lot of siblings and friends that are in the community, but it doesn't really having somewhere to go
Mm.
Yes.
and be with other creators or other types, other people with different types of LGBTQ identity and
Mhm.
learn from them and really feel like I have that outside connection,
Yes.
you know? So that's why whenever I have an opportunity to go to like pride events, I'm like, we have to go because
Mhm.
I feel like that's the only time I'm really exposed to other LGBTQ plus individuals.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they don't look at me any different. They don't notice my disability. I feel like they're the only people that don't notice my disability and don't make it awkward or don't make it the main point of conversation. You know?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mom,
Yes.
when it comes to like misconceptions or assumptions, what have you learned? Having all of us in the LGBTQ community, most of us, what have you learned that you wish other people knew?
Well, first off, I've learned the difference between lesbian, gay, transgender, and queer. Thanks to my youngest, who I believe educated me a lot in that and helped me understand. And now I'm learning the pronouns she, he, they, them. I sometimes slip up, but I do apologize. And they're like, it's okay. It's a learning process. But the point is, I'm a parent that's willing to learn.
Mhm.
And for me,
Yeah.
that's what I've learned in this process. I have to be willing to learn the difference, not just have my children come out and tell me what they feel they are or what they feel they're becoming, and then not get more detailed into it. I want to educate myself about it as much as possible so that I can continue to show the pure support and care and love that I need to. I
Mhm.
can't show
Yeah.
that to something I'm not willing to learn or understand. So for me, I hope and only I can only hope and wish that anyone listening to this podcast or any parents that are listening to this and have anyone in their family that's struggling or feeling like they can't speak, I hope that that's one thing they take away from it is if you're willing to allow your child to come out and be open about who they are, also be willing to educate yourself along the way, along the process, so that we can show them the respect that they need, as well as the LGBTQ community when addressing others as well.
Yes.
That's great, Mom. I love that one so
You
much.
too. So
Thank you.
much. Oh my
Yeah. And that's what we always say. We're so lucky to have you as our mom.
Yes.
and
Thank you.
especially because my mom has been the research like since I had diagnosed with my disability. So like she is one who will do her own research. She also say like people would, she'll do her own research. And obviously, aside from the LGBTQ, that's how I've been able to thrive as a person with a disability for so many years because my mom really does take the time to educate herself on what's out there. We have had some situations that taught us a lesson. Like, okay, we
Mhm.
don't have to do this going forward, or okay, maybe we should change something, So I am grateful to have a mom who is always willing to learn something new, always trying to, learn as much as she can, so she can understand and support us to the
Mhm.
best of her
Definitely.
ability.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. And I believe it makes the journey easier again, for those that are coming out to us, whether it's our daughter or whether it's our son. When they're coming out to us, that's the biggest and first step. That's the hardest step. But then when
Yeah.
they do that and they're able to elaborate more on their feelings and how they feel inside and what made them feel this way, and we take the time to really listen as a mother or father, I think that just opens up the heart even more to this. They start to feel like I'm free. I'm truly
Yes.
free.
Yes.
Not only did I get to explain, not only did I get to come out, but now I got to elaborate on what it's about, and my parents actually took the time to hear me out and wanna
Mhm.
Yes.
understand what it's about. They're
Y
actually willing to walk this journey with me, not have me
yes.
walk
Mhm.
in front of them and they walk behind me as though they have some type of embarrassment. Now we can walk side by side out there with a smile. Like you mentioned the Pride Parade, that was my first one, and
Mhm.
let me tell you, that was the most magical moment and day that I ever had
Yes.
being around the LGBTQ plus. I mean, like you said, Jasmine, everyone was warm and welcoming. The queer, they looked beautiful. In the
Yes.
videos, it was just like I was all of their mothers. I was just out there cheering them on, and I observe a lot when I'm out, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm glad I'm out here with my children." There's a lot of them I don't see
Mhm.
out with their parents, and that could be for whatever
Yes.
reason, but it was good to see them be together as classmates, whether it's college students or whatever, so that was a great experience for me. I look forward to going out there again, stopping
Mhm.
at
Yes.
the table, greeting everybody, wanting to get the
Mhm.
information needed, wanting to know what each table was representing. I took the
Mhm.
time to do that because why go to one of these events if you're not gonna take the time to learn about the resources that's out there for free? At
Mhm.
any
Yes.
table, you could stop at any table and they will
Yes.
definitely have explanations for you. They'll have pamphlets for you. Again, I'm a parent that's still learning along the way. I still speak sometimes, but
Yeah.
to know that I grabbed every pamphlet possible and stopped and said, "Hey, what are you advertising today, and what is this about?" And to learn that there's a gay men's choir. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness, Harrisburg, I'm like, "We gotta go see that. We definitely
Yeah.
gotta check that out."
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
was even trying to get my Sayyora to sign up because my Sayyora can sing. She can
Yeah.
sing. Let me rephrase it. She can sang. When I
Ah,
say sang,
ah,
you know
ah,
what I'm talking
ah, ah,
Oh
about.
my
ah,
So, yes,
ah, ah.
I definitely look forward to doing that. I think this should be a yearly tradition for us 3.
Mhm.
No
Yes.
matter where you're at, Sayyora living, you need to meet up with us once a year
Yes.
and go to Pride.
Yes,
Yes.
I agree, I
And
agree.
I just have to add to that I want you to know, Mom, as much as me and Jasmine are out here making a stamp, because Jasmine has to give you your props, you are a disabled person, a queer person living in Lancaster, PA. Sorry, but the whitest
Yes.
of the white.
Uh,
And we still go out here every day being ourselves. So as
Yes,
much as we sit here and make a stamp in where we live in this
mhm.
community, Mom, you also do, because as you said, being out there at Pride, I did not see anybody with their parents. And
Yeah,
for you to go with us as a queer disabled person and as a trans person, going
yes.
out in wigs and dresses
yes.
and makeup and nails, and you
Mm,
didn't make us feel any less. I know
um,
that probably made people feel so much more like, wow, like, maybe my mom may not be the most accepting, but I'm happy to see another person's mom is as accepting. So
yes.
you are making a stamp in this community too. You should know that.
Thank you. I
I
appreciate
agree,
that.
I agree.
I appreciate that. I hope I can get more parents to show up and show out for their children no matter how old they get.
Mhm.
Absolutely, yeah. And I just want to quickly add that some is a difference between, like mom said, she always says, the mom told out, even me, I mess up told out all the time. Um, but, there's a difference between doing that just because it's like you're trying to get used to someone's transition and then
Mhm.
Mhm.
doing it out of ignorance. And
Yeah.
there's some people that are like, I don't care if that's your pronoun, I'm still gonna call you he. Because
Mhm.
that, and I'm so grateful again that I'm said I'm not like that. You
Yes.
know, yes, they may use the wrong pronouns, but they don't do it intentionally on
Yeah.
purpose. Like they just want to let them get out clear. It's like, and then,
Yes.
oh no, and I will catch them. So like, oh he, oh, I'm sorry, she, and it's like,
Mhm.
even me, I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not to call you the other name, and it's just a lot,
Yeah.
and yeah. So, I just want to know, some people, again, they're like, oh, this doesn't make sense, and blah, blah, blah. So they won't even try to understand what we feel like mom does. They act out of ignorance. And
Mhm.
that's when it's problematic. So,
Yes.
yeah.
I I love you, and that's why I wanted to figure out two because I don't know people doing that in New York, but not in Pennsylvania, and your love is, I mean, extraordinary person anyway, so, yeah.
Wait, to be clear, doing what? Going five?
Yeah, going like and the I so 40 children.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, I, I,
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Something said, he also wants to be pop mom because you're right. He has seen, people go to pride with their parents and like
Mhm.
New York. Obviously, it's a business city, so everyone goes with their parents probably, or at least most people go with their parents. But he hasn't seen that in any other state. So, he's like, it means a lot and it's really helpful that you were willing to come up here with us.
Oh, definitely. I was looking forward to it. I was excited about it. I was already talking to people on the way down in the elevator. The queens looked they gorgeous.
Yes.
I was greeting them, "Hello, beautiful. Hello, queen." When I talk to them, when I talk to my LGBTQ people, I want them to know they will always hear me say beautiful, queen, gorgeous, you know, because
Yes.
that's who they are. And they need to be
Yes.
reminded of that by normal people like me.
Mhm.
'Cause their
Yep.
own people are gonna always call them that. You're gonna
Y-
call each other beautiful queen, cause that's
Yeah.
but they need to hear that from a normal, regular person like me. And not only
Mhm.
Yeah.
that, I'm also a parent. So
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm a regular person who's not in a part of LGBTQ, but I'm a parent. So to
Mhm.
hear that
And
coming from another woman and, I got the hell "Oh, thank you," and "You're welcome," and it was wonderful, it was wonder and I wanna make sure they feel good going on stage giving their best. Because if they got 5 bad looks that day, best believe my one smile made everything change for them.
Hello.
yes.
That's what I
Mhm.
would like to know, that my one smile made them forget about the 5 bad smiles that they got for that day.
I
Yes.
agree. Yep. And not only that, not only you're a parent, but you're an ally. So you're
Yeah,
Mhm.
basically, like you said, you love LGBTQ plus people. You don't see them any differently, so that makes you a good ally.
yeah,
Yeah. That's
yeah,
why I know. Like, if I find a place that I want to go to and all LGBTQ people, and I tell mom, she'll take me with no problem. Cause she just like it with them anyway.
Yeah.
Uh, like, they love my mom more than me. I'm a little jealous. But anyway,
do one of the things that I agree with your mom about the people who smile because it happens to be a Jasmine and
Yeah, we'll
the
come together. Why have you ever come together?
other
Ah!
Jasmine I Jazzy. It happens to be a Jazzy too much. You don't get to fulfill it. Everything that works over you. He's a really good. He's a who the the value added and are kind to us. So
Yes, I agree so much too. So he said he agrees with you, Mom, about
mhm,
being the one person to offer kindness and just, have smiling people make him feel good because it has happened to me and him when, with me, Mom, and Sayyora, and how people tend to look at me with all these ugly looks and like I'm an alien or something. So when we accept those people, like you say, Mom, those kind to us, those smiles at us, those treat us like
yeah,
a regular person, you
mhm,
know, that we remember all the bad looks and the sins, but the kindness and the one person that was like, I'm gonna not act like that. Is what
yeah,
made us, is what really stuck to us, like, oh yeah, remember, yeah, this person was said, I mean, this person made this comment. Like, oh, remember that one person that came up and made us feel really good, you
Mhm.
know? And I feel like, and he also said, a lot of people in the disability community can relate to that
mhm,
because it's not very often, unfortunately, in the disability community that we get people who actually treat us with
Yeah.
kindness, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah. It is. And where we live here in Pennsylvania, it's unfortunate that they do have a large LGBTQ community. We have a couple of blocks that whole block is donated to it's literally contributed to the LGBTQ. They have their flags up in front of their house.
Yeah.
Um, and we know they have fiestas hanging up from the tree. It's just one whole block, and I love to see that. We have a couple of churches that's now coming out here in Lancaster as far as Lancaster County being a small town. It's still frowned upon with the LGBTQ, but I pray and hope that, with each day that passes, that people become more aware and open. And another thing that I've learned along the way is the LGBTQ, they are not here to harm, hurt, or
Mhm.
downgrade anybody. They just want to be a part of. I don't like to use the word fit in because I always taught my kids that we are not meant to fit in. We are meant to stand out.
Mm,
And I believe that's all the
Yeah.
LGBTQ wants to do. They want to be able to be a part of so they can stand out proudly without being
yes.
frowned upon. So I pray that for, my county where I live. Like they said, if we were in New York City or a big city, it's like, okay, that's natural there. But when you're living in a small town where it's really not, and we have a lot of people that are not welcoming to it, it
Mhm,
can make the journey hard. But when I go out with them, I walk with a smile. I walk proud with my head held high. My daughter can be dressed any way she prefers to be. Jasmine can be any way she prefers to be. Her disability in itself causes eyes to look at us a lot. I don't mind eyes from younger generation or children. I believe that's something that parents need to be willing to teach their
mhm,
children
Yeah.
of the different types of people that are out there in the world now. And some walk, some don't. Some can see, some don't. If we don't teach our kids that that's what's out there in the world, when they do step out, for them, it's going to be something new. And then it's going to be weird. But I believe if we educate them and show them and make them aware of what's out there in the world now and what you can come across when you're outside and see, I think it becomes more normal for them to say, oh, this must be something my mom was talking to me about the other day. Okay. Okay, I
mhm.
got to see for myself instead of being curious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. I agree. Okay. So, since obviously recording this during Pride Month, well, the end of Pride Month, I have to ask, what does pride mean to each of you? Sarah, you can talk first.
Okay, pride. Pride to me is authenticity, honestly. I feel like if I had to choose one word to describe pride, that would be it. To just be your authentic self, the person that you wake up with, the person that you eat with, the person that you use the bathroom with, just be yourself and not worrying about, people that may look at you a little like, why is she sound like that? But, she's dressing like this, or
Mhm.
just not worrying about that. Just doing what makes you happy and just not having an ego, but, just be that bad bitch that you are.
Sounds
Yeah.
like have confidence.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yes. I love that so much. Yeah, and that's one thing I love about you. Especially I notice you're growing and you're confident, and that is really important. And I agree. Authenticity is the only way to go. Right? Like
Mhm.
we can't control we can't keep letting society dictate who we are, how we are.
Yes.
Because we're never gonna be genuinely happy.
Mhm.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with that
So
100%.
yeah, and how about you, Mom? What does pride mean to you?
Pride means to me, that word pride, it means to be proud. Walk with
Mm.
pride in your heart.
Mhm.
Yes.
Be your unique self. authentic self, as Sayyora just shared. Those two words, unique and authentic. If I can pass anything on to my queens out there, my LGBTQ community, continue to be unique and authentic. And that's being
Yes.
yourself. And everything else, God's willing, will fall into place. But we can't worry ourselves about too much going on out there in the world when no matter what, it's just sometimes the world's never going to get right with us. So we have to be right with ourselves.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think that's the most important thing about coming out and sharing who you are, whether you're LGBTQ or whether you're just a normal human being. It's like being able to have that freedom to say, this is who I am. And this is where I'm going. And this is my
Yes.
Mhm.
journey. And I'm proud of it because it's goals that I have for myself. Would I like to see people on the journey with me? I would love that. But you can't let that be the stagnation of where you're trying to get to and who you already came out and proven to yourself to be. So pride for me is being proud, being authentic, and being unique.
Yes, I love that.
I love that too. Thank you,
Mhm.
Mom.
You're welcome.
Do you have anything to add? Jill?
Word. Huh. Saying that I to be these like what Lola and you love the recipe of continual second and you know Jazzy one thing that something that I trying to see and I try to see into the legal community and in like if and you like nothing like yeah LGBT community was like help with anything like that. I I can that's the one thing that I can just teach them about with their identity. I don't think myself.
I love that, Jill. So Jill said to him finding what Lola and Sarah and Mom said about authenticity, and that's one of like that's a big value from Jill. He knows about that what inauthentic people. So she said that's one of the things he's really, passionate about, and she wants to help people who are struggling with figure out how to be authentic. So, and anybody out there in the LGBTQ community, if you're struggling to figure out like how to be authentic, he said he's willing to talk to everyone and help them figure that out. Because it's true, we all need to be proud of who we are and where we come from and what mom said, where we're going, and not let anyone hold us back from reaching our true potential of what makes us happy, you know?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yes.
I definitely agree with that.
Hey, so, we're wrapping up. And I always ask you kind of general, like, what would you rather hear? Want someone listen to hear? But I have, because we have Mom and Sarah, I have two sets of questions. So for Sarah, if someone listening is questioning their identity right now, what would you want them to hear?
Um, the one thing I can say is take your time. I'm gonna say that again.
Mhm.
Take your time. I feel like in this community, we are kind of forced to be rushed. And so, what are you? What do you want to be? What do you want to? All of that.
Uh-huh.
Just go slow because me, for example, like mom said, I came out at 10, 11. But to be honest, to be transparent, I felt like I've known since kindergarten because I
Mm.
can't lie. My first crush was a boy in kindergarten, but it's kindergarten. I didn't know what gay was, but all I knew
Uh-huh.
is, oh, that boy is cute. I can't lie. So me knowing from kindergarten and then going through all these phases of gay, non-binary, bi, and then it taking me all the way till 18 to finally sit down with myself and choose I'm gonna be trans and I know I am a trans woman in America. It takes time and that's fine, but just don't rush. That's it.
That's
I love
good.
that. Great answer.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah, I love that too. That's what that answer. And then like we do live in such a society, like it's
you.
overwhelming. And I
Mm-hmm.
think sometimes people are not given the room or space to even figure out their identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Because of a lot of things that come into play. But yeah, I agree. Taking time and maybe even try different things out. You don't know
mm-hmm.
until you start putting certain things into practice. And okay, let me try this. Let me
Yeah.
try that. Of course, it
Mm,
Yeah.
takes caution,
yeah.
Mhm.
accepting all that stuff. But yeah,
Yeah. I agree. Mhm.
yeah. Um, and so, Mom,
Yes.
what would you say to a parent whose child just came out to them?
What would I say to a parent whose child just came out? I would say first, listen, sit, be willing to have your ears open and listen without interruption. And the reason why I say that is because it's going to be a sensitive topic and a hard topic for that child to come out,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what the age may be. So, with that alone, that's just, that's anxiety, everything going on inside in that child. So, what they need right now is a parent to just hear and listen what they're about to say. And
Yes.
in doing that, if they're able to do that, by the time they get to the end of that conversation, the only answer that should be coming out of that parent's mouth is, "It's okay, my child. I'm here for you. I still love you. It's going to be okay. I'm going to walk this journey with you, and we're going to learn it together."
That's
That's
beautiful.
really the beginning of
Yeah.
a conversation and the end of a conversation. The
Mm-hmm.
first start is listening. Don't even speak, because that's his platform. That's that child's platform to express to you what they are feeling inside. And they need to be able to do that without interruption, without
Yeah,
in the middle of sentence feedback. They need to know that they have your undivided attention, that you are really hearing what they're saying and taking it in. And in the end of that, if you really did listen and take it in and you love the child that's there in front of you, the only response out of that in the end of that story is, "It's okay, my child. It's going to be all right. I love you. You're still my child, and we're going to walk through this together."
Mm-hmm.
And I think if a
that's
parent can
beautiful.
do that, the rest of it's going to be easy. We can't worry about what other parents are going to say or what our neighbors are going to say or what our neighbors are going to think. I know it's very hard as a parent when you are a part of a community and you're a part of certain things going on in that community, but remember, these children are ours. They were given to us by God, no matter what way, shape, or form. The clay is not always perfect, and we have to
Yep,
take them and just embrace them as best as we know how and as best as we're willing to learn how.
Yes.
I love that so much. Love thank you.
You're very welcome. And you know what I wrote down? I want to say share something real quick. When I look at LGBTQ, I look at these words: L for love, G forgive, B believe, T be true to yourself, and of course Q You better be that queen that you are and shine like nobody's
Mhm.
ever shined before. That's what
That's right.
LGBTQ stands for me. Love, give, believe, true, queen. Those are all positive words that you get out of those letters. So when
Mhm.
I
people look
love
at
that.
LGBTQ, if you're listening, write this down. L is for love. G is for give. B is for believe. T is for true. And queen is for queen. You better wear that crown and wear it proud.
I love that. I
Yes.
love
I
that.
just had to share that.
Thank you, Mama. Beautiful. Look
You're
at
welcome.
you. Did linguistic.
I don't get no other words out of those letters except that. Those are the first words, and they're all positive. Those are
They
what is that?
are.
They are all positive, like words, positive
Mhm.
insight, like
Yeah.
love. That's
Affirmations,
what we're looking for. We're
yes.
looking for love.
Yep.
Me. We want we want to be given just like we want to give. We want to give our
Yeah.
heart. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
believe in yourself. Being in this community is not an everyday walk in the park.
Yep.
Continue believing in yourself
Yep.
and be true to yourself. And when you have all those words put together, you are a queen.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I love that so much. Um, do you have anything to say, Mr. Writer? Huh?
I love that from Sandra. And I would say that Jazzy and Sayyora were the art please and then were the crowd.
They do. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Thank you. Thank
Yes, they
you.
do.
Oh, yes, that's beautiful. Okay, so I asked all my guests this ultimate question. So before we wrap up, I have one final question. And then Sarah will answer first, and then Ralph can answer.
Okay.
Okay.
What does still becoming mean to you?
Still becoming. I feel like still becoming is an evolution. That's what it is. It's an
Uh-huh.
evolution and it's still evolving. And remembering that no matter how old, how young, how anything, even a newborn and somebody who died, you are going to evolve no matter what. And that is one thing that I think people need to remember and learn that
Mhm.
people will look at things and be like, oh, I already know this. I don't need nobody to teach me that. No, there's a lot of evolving when it comes to life, whether it's LGBTQ plus, the disability world, the cis
Yeah.
world, anything. And I feel like that's what still becoming means. And it's such a strong quote that I think people need
Mhm.
to wake up and read that to themselves every morning that they are still
Mhm.
becoming.
Mhm.
Yes, I
Yes.
love that. Yeah.
Yes.
And I love to say oh Shana because I am getting my tattoo.
Ooh.
And my tattoo gonna say it's gonna have the word evolving.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. And I feel like that says a lot of my feelings into so elaborately. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
I'm what talking about what is still becoming means to you.
Still becoming means to me, I'm still growing. I'm still willing to learn. Um, I'm still willing to make myself aware of the unknown that's out there as best as I can because if it's unknown to me, it's going to be unknown to my children. And like
Yeah,
Sayora said, no matter how young or how old you get, you're never too old to learn, and you're never too old to be taught. You have to be
Yep.
willing to be taught, and you have to be willing to learn and be open. I do realize the society I taught both of you, especially Sayyora,
Mm-hmm.
when you're out there in the world, the one thing I said to her when she did come out, I said, the world that we live in is not always going to be pretty, and it's not always going to be nice, and it's not always going to be kind. But
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
taught her how to be a fighter. I taught her how to be aware of her surroundings. I taught her how to be open-minded and
Yes.
understand the world that we do walk in. So still, like she says, it's evolving, being aware, never stop learning. Especially with I have everything in my family. I have a lesbian, I have a queer, I have a transgender, and they're all my children from my oldest down to my youngest. So um I just want them to know that and keep in mind that they got the right to walk this earth as everyone else does, but walk it with pride, walk it
Yes.
with respect and dignity, and I believe they'll be all right. They will be all
Mm-hmm.
right. They've been all right this far.
Yep.
Um, so I just know if they keep that in mind and they don't disrespect anybody, they respect everybody's place in the world, but we want people to respect theirs as well. So I hope everybody out there that's listening to this podcast, when you hear that word or that sentence, still becoming, just remember that's all we all are trying to do. We're all trying to still become something more than what we are by being better human beings.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that one.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. And do any final words?
No, I don't think so, does. I just want to say, you got just think and the world will be here as we very great. You had a great job feature with them. So,
Yes, yes,
Thank you.
yes. I want to thank you for being here and for being willing to have this conversation with us because I know it's not an easy topic, but
Mhm.
it's beautiful to me because I have some that and I said, okay, I need to have my mom and one of my siblings on. So at least I have my youngest one. My youngest
Yes.
sibling on
Yeah.
finally.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get your sister on another day.
Yes.
I would think say that then we can continue to try to get your sister out.
Yeah. It's a little harder to nail down what her schedule. But I'll keep trying.
Yes, yes.
I can clear out like the best next time.
Yeah, play the background, maybe she'll agree then. Oh, maybe I have to buy her one dinner or something. I don't know.
Uh,
But um, thank you both again for being here. And so, everyone who's listening in today's conversation resonated with you, we encourage you to share it with others. And always remember, try to have an open mind, try to show support, and acceptance to your loved ones, even if they are in the LGBTQ plus community.
Mhm.
exactly. And as I always say, I was put on this earth to love everybody.
Yep.
Hello.
You come
Yeah,
across me, you'll definitely get a smile.
yes. Until next time, keep
I
growing, keep healing, and keep becoming.